Hey guys, I just wanted to make this video because I saw online there's a few guys out there buying their, panhard bars and the drag link and the ball link and for the steering to adjust correct the steering from bump steer and all that. Well, here's my solution. This is a replica, a semi-replica of my daily driver. I have a F350 that's lifted 9 inches on 37-inch tires. This is not an exact replica, but for a toy it's pretty close. So this started off life as a ax10. The rims are ax10 rims, the stock ones, and a buddy of mine told me that I could buy frame rails and make the thing look, scale sorta. And I said, "Oh, really?" Got on eBay, picked up a couple of scx10 frame rails. I extended the frame rails. I don't know if here. Let's see if we can get a little closer in there. But I extended the frame rail right there and made it into a long bed. So the body itself started life as a crew cab, but it was a short bed, and I sectioned off the body and just made it longer and Bondo and plastic and time, and got it to be a long bed. So it's now a long bed. And so under the drive shaft right there with the links, that drive shaft is pretty much a brass tube from the hobby shop, and I grafted in the stock axles. I put the parts that fit together, I put them in the tube, and so when you cycle the suspension up and down, it'll slide out and do all the stuff it's supposed to do. It's a 3-link in the rear. You got those two right there, and then the one on top that adjusts the or indexes the rear axle. So that's that. And then the front stock pretty much. I mean, I didn't think there was a need to re-engineer the whole front end, and it all worked. So I just said, okay, but I wanted to make it look more scale, and so I went ahead and made my own panhard bar. Let's kind of do this. So we'll flip it around, go to the front. See, I have 4 articulation. It works really well. See, all the rear tires are on the ground. It does all that cool stuff. But so let's slide this up here. And so there you go. I made my own brackets for the panhard bar, and I also fly remote control airplanes. So all of the ball links, or 90% of the ball links, and the rods come from my leftover junk that I had from my remote control airplane stuff. I saw a kid on YouTube make his own rods with ball links, and he put an aluminum tube on it. It looked slick. I said, "Oh, well, shit, I can do that." So this is the front end. The panhard bar, that mount right there. See? And so the angles. So look, here's the deal. I have my own truck, like I said. And when I went to go do this thing, I went ahead and looked at the underneath of my truck, saw that I had a drop bracket for the lift, for the panhard bar. I saw where my pitman arm had a drop pitman arm, and I just looked at the engineering under there, and I copied it basically to here. and you know, a little bit of vodka, hobby metal, you know, brazing flame, and you know, I came up with this. But anyways, let's move on. If you see right there, that's a pitman arm. I actually made my own pitman arm. I don't know if you can see it, but you know, there's a servo that's mounted upside down, and that's an aluminum servo arm that I heated up and bent S shape. And then it wasn't long enough. I wasn't getting enough throw, so I had to extend the arm a little bit. Figured that part out and made it work. So that's the front end of this thing, and you know, it you know, does the travel thing. You know, it does all that kind of stuff. So that part worked out just fine, but like I said, I didn't need to reinvent any of the front end. I just said, you know what, reinvent, I should say. I just went ahead and started cutting and making it work. So now, let's take off the body. We'll just give you a quick tour of what's going on under there. So the body's just held on by Velcro and magnets. Yes, when you roll over, you do lose the body, but other than that, it stays on the truck pretty good. So I have a Novak 55 with the rooster, whatever crawler dealy that is. And I have Fox or King. I think they're King. Yeah. They're the King, you know, faux reservoir shocks. Battery mounts up front. That's a 5002 cell. LiPo. And there's the servo. It's mounted upside down. I made that plate that the servo sits on. I just, you know, grabbed a piece of metal from the hobby store and said, I got to make a plate out of this thing, and just figured it out. You know, just took some time and vodka. And that's what it came up with. Anyways, there's the pitman arm. There's the servo. There's the battery. My, you know, really horrible mounting system, but it works. I mean, it works just fine. So we'll come around to the back. Now the back isn't, you know, the back was stock for a while, and I had rear steering when I had it in the ax10 configuration, and I threw away those things that hold the C's, you know, in place, so I had to go make my own again and figure it out. So I just got some of those you know, rods and bent it and put a ball link on it, got it as straight as I could, and there you have it. So this in stock form, you know, I had binding issues, so, and the truck would always, you know, torque its way, and bottom, you know, the whole thing would wiggle and stuff, and I just said, well, I guess I better go to a panhard system. So I saw up under a couple of Jeeps and maybe some Tahoes or something, I saw that the rear axles in some of these vehicles had panhard bars. So I just said, well, there you go, there's your answer. Go make a panhard bar. And you know, this thing was, I didn't make this thing to be all pretty or anything like that. I mean, I could really clean this thing up, and but you know, it's fine, it works, it's cool enough for me. But you see, I made out of brass tubing and brass plate. I just finagled some kind of mounting system to just make a panhard bar for the rear. And so that's the rear end of the truck. Like I said, I didn't need to re-engineer the front. You know, I could make everything matching with it's too much work. The thing works fine. It works great. When I go crawling, it just does everything pretty scale. It looks pretty cool. So yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys that, you know, hell, I got to pay child support, so Well, you pay child support. You can't afford to go out and buy all these brackets and nice metal things. So I just made my own, and I don't think it looks half bad. Do you? Anyways, like I said, I have a full-scale truck, or I have my own daily driver. Exactly, looks pretty close to this thing. Let me slide the body back on. See, so you just take the body and sit it down. There you go. Got a truck again. So I do also car audio. I'll be making some videos on car audio for my daily ride. I really get into car stereos as well, so hope we can generate some interest and have some fun with this channel. See you guys soon.